Princess Diana. She was a commoner. Now, while JFK and Richard Nixon and other senators could control certain people like the Queen, which was a young 16-year-old girl originally, and some other things like that, um, they couldn't exactly do complete media control and other stuff. And so when I decided that a commoner should become whatever, princess or whatever, I made that decision, Lucifer Star. So suddenly, this commoner was going to get married to basically royalty, and like I say, whatever the sons of the queens or whatever had actually helped Richard Nixon, John McCain, and some of the others, use the boats or something like that, or they had been implicated in some submarine thefts as well as some killing of all the people at some factories. So they knew lots of stuff, and they were basically coming up off of the piracy and everything else like that. He was implicated in quite a few things. I didn't think he was involved, but I guess maybe other people said it's very reliable that he was actually captaining the boat that actually took those people to those warehouses where they went then rowed to shore and then killed all the people at those warehouses and stole the stuff. So he was implicated very strongly in basically the killing of two or three towns. So anyway, and basically he had knowledge of basically what John McCain, Richard Nixon, and all those others had done, pretty much, because he had captained the boat there, or something like that, and had also given money or whatever for the rental of the White Star submarines. So anyway, so he was implicated very strongly in it, even though I didn't think so. So anyway, because I didn't think he would give up, why would he do that? He was the son of the Queen. But apparently he was young and impressionable or something like that, or they both were or something. So anyway, so basically, and he was part of it, maybe even there in some of the rapes or whatever, but may or may not have taken a part. I don't know. So anyway, he was implicated very strongly in it. But anyway, so so when apparently he didn't want to be with Princess Diana or something like that, or I don't really know, or they had like a little threesome thing going. I'm not exactly sure. But basically, they weren't going to let her marry him or whatever, because that would mean she would be a part of the group or something like that. So anyway, and I had chosen why not or whatever, and so she had instantly been elevated to queen status, to princess status instantly. And when I did that, when I made that decision, I was including her, and of course she talked to her best friend or whatever, and all kinds of other stuff. And of course word got out a little bit. So anyway though, because they were trying to keep a small group basically of people who knew this dark secret or this terrible secret that led to my death or basically my kidnapping or mistreatment, basically. So anyway, so as the group, it was basically their thing was basically crushing pretty much, where they knew the truth and they were just waiting for me to die, and where basically she might feel differently and she would feel differently, and she said some certain things that he had said or something like that, and basically it led to basically also her being in the White House and possibly being shot or something like that. And but how could she be killed though? Anyway, it was actually like Richard Nixon or someone that actually had shot her or something. I don't really know who actually killed her, but basically she was shot and killed pretty much, and in the White House. So they smuggled her out and had to stage the whole car accident. And lots of investigators would be like, "There's no possible way for her to die in the backseat of the car." It has modern day airbags. Even if they get in an accident, the bodyguard lived, and basically she should have lived too. Of course, she was dead or dying or something like that. Anyway, though, so they staged the whole accident and pretty much, basically as part of the whole Nixon cover up and basically trying to get me killed or whatever. Basically everything. So, or trying to keep me from remembering who I am and telling the world. So, anyway, though, and slowly over the years, everything, the truth would start to come out, and their death grip on what is the earth would slowly crumble. You know, as it became more and more obvious what they had done with me and Lucifer Star and the White Empire and all that other stuff. Anyway, they're trying to control the media and all kinds of stuff, and it just gets all crazy where basically she had texted her best friend or other people. I mean, two girls talk a lot, so and she had said some things or something like that. Anyway, and basically she had been killed by pretty much in the White House by someone like Richard Nixon or someone, I don't really know who, but basically something or other. Maybe they had found out about me or something. I don't really know. I don't really care. I mean, I do care about her death because, I mean, she was a nice girl and I liked her very much. So anyway, Anyway, though, but she would know about everything else and would eventually get access to some of the things and all that other stuff. So anyway, but slowly over the years, it kind of crumbled. What they were doing and stuff like that, because they were trying to, you know, basically lie to the American people, lie to Europe, lie to everyone. So anyway, and I was being very honest and open about everything. And if anybody had ever asked me, then they would know. But anyway, Richard Nixon or someone wanted to kill me and all this and that. And basically, that's how my involvement, her involvement. But I didn't want her to die, of course. I was trying to save her. But they were going to try and stop that. Anyway, lots of weird things would happen and all kinds of craziness. But basically, yeah. And it just basically goes into pretty much how they had used one of the royal boats or whatever to go and do these raids and stuff like that before they had gotten the submarines or something like that, and how they, it's basically Nixon and a bunch of people, pretty much a bunch of young kids that didn't know what, Anyway, that's how they were getting money or whatever, the piracy and everything else like that. Anyway, yeah, and slowly but surely, their death grip on what is the world while I'm in existence, and it would slowly crumble. It led to basically trying to make me forget who I am and trying to stop me from telling the people and trying to keep the world from knowing that their epic creator, Lucifer Star, was here on this planet. Me, Brian. So, anyway, though, and whatever. And drugs were completely legal. And basically in mass production in quite a few countries around the world. So, anyway, yeah. And basically everyone was fine with the drug use, and then they were very responsible about it and all that other stuff. But basically it's how Richard Nixon and the Republicans and Democrats were getting their money, was by basically locking people up and selling them drugs. So anyway, whatever, because they weren't really running the government, the police were, or the people were, basically more than the White House. And the White House was just my White Star house, well, the Lucifer White Star house. So anyway, LS. Anyway, I'm also named Brian. So, anyway, yeah. So anyway, and was just trying to keep me from remembering, keep the public from knowing who I am. So, and then also pay people to come and harass me or try and get me to kill myself, which they had been more successful at with other people than me, because I am an epic creator, Lucifer Star, and other people were just normal people. So they could lock up people and basically treat them like little toys and playthings, whereas me, not so much. So, anyway, because I am very much real. So, anyway, I was very much above everyone, always or once or whatever. I'm the creator, Lucifer Star. So, genetically created plants and animals and life forms. And so, even with long range plans, they weren't able to do all that much to me. But anyway. And they tried nuking me, killing me, poisoning me, all kinds of stuff. So, not very nice. But anyway, that's what's been going on this last 400 years, 80 years or whatever. And why, and then they pay people to harass me or treat me like shit, try and make me think that I'm poor or something like that. Try and keep me from going to see my epic world and all this and that and whatever. Anyway, just all a bunch of craziness with lots of verifiable facts of how I recorded. I had everything recorded and remembered and photographed and sketched and all kinds of stuff. So. Anyway, and had the Queen selling dishes and stuff like that. And also other things. So anyway, it gives me a headache to think about, but it's basically how it is. And basically I'm really fucking bored. And I have nothing else to do, really. And pretty much, yeah, the Republicans are broke, the Democrats are broke, and they just have whatever they could basically force Chinese or Germans or somebody else to basically give them. And we're basically more notably doing open sea piracy and basically massive drug sales. And that's how they have money. Anyway, or what they could pilfer from the American people. Through taxes and stuff, or just get them to repossess their houses or something like that, so they could support them and all their bribes. So, anyway, it's just a bunch of bad people lying to everyone. So anyway. And later involved their children.